I know it's so easy to think that food guilt is about the food when you eat the donut or the ice cream and get this really nagging, uncomfortable feeling about it. But let me ask you a question. Do you know someone in your life who can eat that exact same food that you feel so guilty about, but they can eat it without a care in the world and just move on? This is proof that food guilt is not really about the food. And in today's video, I'm going to break down for you what food guilt is really about and a powerful shift you can make to start releasing it. Hi, if we haven't met, I'm Mia, intuitive eating dietitian, body image coach, and a nutrition professor, and this is my second YouTube video. Thank you for being here. This is still very nerve-wracking for me, but I'm specifically here to talk about intuitive eating, body image, self-discovery. I'll probably make a lot of references to Gen X's, millennials, since that's the age group that I'm in, a lot of my clients are in, and if that resonates with you, I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in. Okay, so let's talk about food guilt. If you think about guilt in general, it's this feeling that says, uh-oh, I did something wrong. And so when it comes to food guilt, everyone have this inner food judge. And if they're really harsh, it might sound like a food police. And your inner food judge has this barometer of what is good, what is bad. And when you deviate from that good, that's when it's gonna go, gotcha, you messed up, you are bad. And that's when you feel food guilt. And this could be about a specific type of food. Maybe it says sugar is bad, vegetables are good, and so when you eat sugar, you feel guilty. Or it could be about the way that you eat. It might be, oh, if you leave food on your plate, then you're bad. Or if you eat after 8 p.m., then you're bad. So everyone's inner food judge has its own set of rules. And that's why there is no universal standard of what makes every single person feels guilty about. It's so highly individualized. So in essence, food guilt is not really about the food itself. It's about what you believe about food. And that became your inner judge's standard of deciding when to make you feel guilty or not. And so then the next question is, well, where did your ideas and beliefs about food come from? And the main two big sources of where it came from is one, diet culture, or all the diets that you've been on, and two, your family. What was said about food when you were growing up? What was your mom's relationship with food like? These have a lot of influence on what you then take on as your own. And the reason why this can feel really hard in your 40s or beyond that is because you learned these things about food very early on. Usually they go way back to childhood. And so the older you are now, it's that many years that there was more of for that idea, for that belief, for that story about food to become ingrained. So a lot of my clients, Gen X clients, have a really difficult time not feeling guilty about leaving food on their plate. I was also part of Clean the Plate Club. It's like, don't leave food on your plate. It means you're ungrateful. It means you're wasteful. We learn these things. And so that ingrained belief about leaving food on the plate is bad. You took that belief on as your own. When these stories and beliefs become so ingrained and automatic, we don't even question it and can't see it any other way. It's like that for a lot of my clients when they have these old food rules that lead to food guilt from such a long time ago, but it doesn't mean they are the absolute truth. Because again, are there people out there who don't feel the same way about those same food rules or about food? Absolutely. So while it makes sense why you came to see food in the way that you do, in the way that makes you feel guilty right now, what you need to remember is that it doesn't mean that those beliefs are the truth and the absolute truth. It also doesn't mean that it's too late, that you can't change it. You absolutely can. So now that you have an understanding of what food guilt is really about, let's talk about the second point, which is, so what do I do about it? How can I change it? So the step one to that is to challenge yourself. Whenever you feel food guilt from eating a certain food or breaking a certain food rule, like leaving food on your plate, then ask yourself this powerful question. Where did I learn that this is bad? And the answer again will oftentimes be from some kind of diet, maybe some media news that you heard, or maybe your mom or your family. And I want you to have this reflection with so much compassion. It's not to say that your mom was bad or that media screwed you over, although it maybe did a little bit, but you're not powerless from it. Now that you have discernment, now that you are on this path of healing your relationship with food and body, you have the power to change it. You have the power and discernment to reject it and say, wait a minute, where did I learn this? Is this actually true? What is a different way to look at it? And so many interesting things come up when I ask my clients this. When a client says that they felt guilty about some food and I ask them, where did you first learn that? And then these stories come up from childhood about a client was talking about how one Christmas their mom said that Santa is on a diet this year, and so instead of leaving out milk and cookies, she left out a plate of carrots. And so from then on, cookies was this bad food that she felt guilty about because she learned to believe that dieting was good and avoiding these foods was a good thing. So sometimes you can pinpoint the origin of where you learned these stories or food rules. That might be a story that stands out to you from childhood or your adolescence. But sometimes they're just subtle things that you heard over and over again. Like if you heard that sugar is bad over and over again and you weren't allowed to have it in the house and you could only get it when you went to your friend's house or once you started to drive and you could buy your own food, and then you started hiding candy and binge eating on candy because you didn't want your mom to see it. This is an example of how this ingrained belief of, ooh, sugar is bad, so anytime I eat sugar, I'm doing something bad, I should feel guilty, but that doesn't keep you away from it. It only makes you do it more in secret, or for you to have a more restrict binge relationship with sugar instead of feeling emotionally neutral about it and just eating it every once in a while. So examining where we learn to think of food in certain ways, the certain beliefs that are tied to food, can really give us insight to cultivate some compassion around your younger self and also even for your family, because likely your parents, your caretakers had good intentions for you, however, may have contributed to your difficult relationship with food and body, but we don't have to demonize them or blame them. We can acknowledge that you wish that things were different, but also still hold some compassion towards them because they likely learned those things from diet culture, maybe from their parents' generation. But the beautiful thing is when you can recognize that it wasn't an internal thing, innate thing that you believed about food, then you can acknowledge that it was something that was learned, which means then you can unlearn it too. So how do you unlearn these beliefs that are leading to food guilt? Here are two powerful questions to ask yourself to start releasing your food guilt. Number one, is it absolutely true that this is a bad food or that I'm doing something wrong by eating this? The answer is no, because there is no absolute good or bad food. Food serves many purposes, not just nutrients and fuel. It's also about joy. It's also about connection. It's also about tradition and culture. It's also about experiences. Food serves so many purposes, and there is no absolute bad food. The second question to ask yourself is, does it serve me to continue to hold on to this belief about food? And if you struggled with food guilt for a while, you likely know that the answer to this is no, it's not serving you. It's only keeping you in this place of battling food, battling with your body, and by feeling guilty from it and trying to avoid it, maybe it leads you to eat it more later on when you feel deprived, and you continue to go through this cycle of trying to stay away from it and then eating more of it, this restrict binge kind of cycle, or this emotionally charged relationship with certain foods. If you can recognize that your beliefs about food is leading to this disordered way, this unhelpful way of eating this food, then it means it's not serving you and that you have a choice to look at it in a different way. So when you can recognize that, one, it's not an absolute bad food, two, holding on to this belief is not serving you, the third thing, the action you can take now is whenever you have the craving to eat that certain food or to break a certain food rule that you had before, Give yourself so much compassion and say, I am going to give myself permission to eat this. I am intentionally moving away from this food belief that doesn't serve me, and I'm practicing trying on this new belief. Cookies are not bad. Sugar is not bad. When I truly crave it, I can give myself permission to eat it. I can enjoy it and move on. And this new way of thinking about food, or this new way of eating this food, can take some time to become the new normal. But I promise you, when you do it intentionally, when you practice it over time, it can change and you can release the food guilt. So I hope this was helpful. One last thing I wanted to share with you is that if you struggle with food guilt and you want an additional resource, I have a really powerful food guilt workshop that you can find in the description, and it's going to walk through many examples of this process of releasing food guilt. That comes with a workbook that will really help you identify what specific beliefs around food are you still holding on to, and will help you work through them one by one. So check that out in the description box. I'd love to hear from you if this video was helpful. Again, this is only my second video, and so I'm still getting that hang of YouTube. So I would appreciate your love, any questions, comments, suggestions that I could incorporate into my next videos, and I hope to see you next time.